waste the time and pull me closer. My baby got the cushion, that's why I get pushed up on it, don't you?
From the basement of the beautiful Chrysler Building, because we couldn't get the penthouse suite, this is the Scammies. Where each week, we look at a scam. What's a scam? It's a trick. It's a ploy designed to get your money. Our job is to make you a little bit smarter. This episode, I thought I'd answer viewer questions. And the number one question that we have got is, what kind of dog is Oso the scam sniffing dog? Oso, come here. Come be on TV. Hey, up on here. Come on. Hey, up on here. Come on. Get on up. Good boy. Oso is half German Shepherd and half Italian Mastiff. Look at that beautiful face. Good boy. Very good dog. All right, get out of here. Oso. We got work to do. Thanks, Oso. Next up, are you really in the Chrysler Building? Of course we are. Here's the proof. The original boiler from this building, completed in 1930. This Art Deco skyscraper, New York City. Next up, why are you doing the Scammies? Well, let me explain. I'm a big fan of capitalism. I think it's the way that the world improves. It's moved billions of people out of poverty. It's made it possible to live the luxurious lifestyle that we do in the United States. Freedom for people to interact in any way they see fit. But there's a downside, there's a risk, and that is there's bad people out there who've decided it's easier to just take money from other people, maybe by force, maybe by using deception, fraud. And those are scams. Now, some people would say, well, you know what? It's the government's job to be the police. But here's the problem with that logic. They're terrible police. I'll tell you what happened about a decade ago. I get up in the morning, used to read 3 newspapers every morning. And I look at the front page, and there it says that Bernie Madoff has done an $80 billion fraud. Ponzi scheme. $80 billion. I'm like, $80 billion? This newspaper screwed up. They meant million, not billion. How could you possibly do an $80 billion Ponzi scheme? Well, he did. Ran a Ponzi scheme for more than 20 years. SEC, even though people went to them and said, he's running a Ponzi scheme, they ignored it, didn't investigate, or investigated, found out it was okay. What's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is nobody cares about your money like you do. And if you want to avoid getting scammed, you can't rely on the police or the investigators or the SEC or the DOJ or the FBI. You've got to take responsibility for your own life. And that means getting smarter. And that's why I did the Scammies. Because I'm trying to make an entertaining show that helps you get smarter. I bring in some thought-provoking stories that maybe you haven't heard about, or some ways to think about life that you haven't heard about, might make you a little less susceptible to scams. Next up, have I ever been scammed? Well, of course I have. Everyone has. Who hasn't been led on by somebody who's given them partial information or deceptive information and get more of your money than they deserved? I'll tell you about the first scam that I fell for. I was probably 15 years old. And I wore glasses, had terrible vision. And I grew up poor. And so my glasses were always breaking, right? Because when you're a kid, you get hit with that kickball, or you fall and smash them. And then your parents yell at you. And we were poor. And so when you broke a pair of glasses, oh boy, it was a big deal. You were wearing taped glasses for a long time. So I hated glasses with a passion. And I was always looking for, how can I get rid of these glasses? And I remember looking through some magazines. And back then, all the scams weren't online like they are now, right? or in person. They were in magazines and newspapers, in those little classifieds. And I remember reading one of those classifieds that talked about, hey, you know how you can improve your vision? You can do eye exercises, right? That the reason your eyes are weak or can't see well is because they're weak. And if you just do these magic exercises, your vision will improve. I thought, wow, that's great. So I ordered the book. Can't remember what it was, but I had a few bucks because I was always an industrious little guy doing odd jobs even before I could work officially have my government permission slip to work when I was 15 and a half. And I saved my money and I got the book, and boy, was that a disappointment. A bunch of silly exercises for your vision, which would supposedly make your eyes better. Now, of course, I know now, didn't know then because I was young and naive and wanted to believe it, that your vision basically depended on the genetics of your parents. If they gave you the wrong shaped eyeballs, you're going to have bad vision. Later on in life, got some laser surgery. Now I can see pretty good. But that's the first scam that I fell for. And that concludes this episode of Viewer Questions. If you've got a question you want answered, go ahead, drop me an email. It's in the description. Or leave your comment below. Love to see those. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode of The Scammies. And thanks to our theme song by Haley Knox. Go Boy. See you next week. Thanks for watching.
Don't waste the time and pull me closer. My baby got the cushion, that's why I get pushed up on it, don't you? Love it when I get on it, don't stop.